Hey everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are having an amazing weekend, because ours frankly has sucked. It is time on the channel for another chicken and garden update, and I have been busy with the chickens. We cleaned out the chickens last week because we put some new hemp in there. We had been getting our hemp bales from a local farmer who had been selling it to the local feed store, and we'd been buying them from the local feed store. But sometime during COVID, that person stopped producing hemp bales, and so we were left in a situation where we didn't have any hemp bales, and the result was that we ended up having to use sawdust and a couple of other things. They weren't as good. So we use something called the deep litter method here for our chickens, and it basically means you just keep adding fresh bedding, and everything else kind of slowly goes down to the bottom. Chickens don't wee in a traditional kind of mammalian way, because they're not. They're birds. They combine their urine with their feces, so it all comes out in one place in the droppings. The droppings tend not to be very moist, so it's an okay way of doing this deep litter method for chickens. But we've just recently got this new hemp, which is more like straw in terms of its consistency. It's been very interesting to see the chickens kind of sort through it, and they seem to be enjoying it, so that's good. There's a chicken who's left an egg right in the far corner of the chicken coop, and I'm going to see if I can reach it while I tell you about some of the stuff that's been going on here. So as you know, we have had a bit of time trying to get our Ford Pro Power system installed. It's nothing to do with Ford. Turns out that it was a combination fresh egg. Somebody was not laying where they were supposed to. It turned out to be an issue with the way that the Sunrun system and the Ford system were interacting with one another. I'm not saying on a digital level they weren't connected, using a special network connection or anything like that. It's just that the way that the Ford Pro Power system that's installed by Sunrun interacts with the span panel, and it was causing the two systems to not work. So the Ford system wasn't working properly, and then the span panel wasn't working properly. And we've been working on this for months. Now we finally come to a solution, I think, which is that the span panel is going to be our non-backed up panel. The panel in our garage is going to be our essential loads panel, which the truck will back up. So we'll be able to use the span to monitor our energy usage, which is what we were supposed to be doing when we got it installed. But it's not commissioned yet. So we'll be able to get that commissioned and working. The panel in the garage will be our main panel. And eventually it is hoped that the Pro Power system by Sunrun and the span panel will be able to talk to one another, and then hopefully they'll be able to coexist on the same circuit. So at that point, we'll just switch those two panels over. So that will become our backed up panel, and the one in the garage will become our main our non-backed up panel, and be able to switch the circuits around and everything. And that'll all be good and dandy. And then hopefully it will work, which is kind of important, because right now we don't have any automatic power backup for the system, and it's a bit of a pain. But anyway, that's not really chicken and garden, but I did want to let you know what was going on. I'm holding an egg in my hand because it's warm and my hands are cold. All right, let's show you what's going on here with the garden. So the chickens got in my garlic a couple of weeks back, and they did a little bit of damage, but luckily everything seems to be recovering, which is good. I'm going to give up on my winter crops. They're just going to come out, and I'm going to basically I'm going to replant them. I've been dealing with vintage computers all week. Not actually doing much in the way of vintage computer stuff, but I've been trying to plan for this weekend when I'm hoping to resurrect one of my old vintage computers and get it running. Anyway, so I need to do that. I need to replant this bed. This bed is looking kind of sorry for itself, and here as well. And it's just started raining. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just started raining. I have not got a raincoat on, so I am going to wander back towards the house, and I know Michael is going to have to colour this, and he's going to not be very happy with me because I'm going to give him a really nasty bit of stuff to colour. things are starting to grow at last. As I said in last week's show, you know, we've got some bulbs that are finally coming up. We've got the startings of our our spring bulbs. So our daffodils, our tulips, our snowdrops haven't popped up yet, and I think they may have been killed by the bad weather. The other thing that's starting to come up is our mint is starting to grow, and our irises are starting to come up. Now I know I'm about to show you something that's really terrible, but our irises are starting to come up. Look there. There are some irises that are starting to appear, which is quite nice. I've just noticed that a dog has taken a poop in my bed, which of course I'm going to clean up as soon as I'm done with this video. Everything else is still very much asleep, but there is something we are going to have to fix, and that is this greenhouse. And if you watch the channel, we were wanting to put a greenhouse up, but the weather has just been so terrible, and we had that well go, which cost $6,000. Ouch. Sorry, $4,000. Something else cost $6,000. We've had a lot of expenses this year, so it was 4,000 and some? I can't remember. It was expensive. It's 4,500, I think. So that well broke and cost us money. And we've had another big bill for other stuff. And so we've just not been able to put a whole lot of time and energy into building the greenhouse. And that may actually have to wait another season, which means I'm going to have to get a new cover for this greenhouse, which is not, not out of the question. And I may actually move the greenhouse over here a little bit. We're trying to figure out how we're going to grow stuff and what we're going to grow this year. And it might take a little bit of time for us to figure it out, but I'm sure we will. So the other thing that I wanted to ask your opinions on here is grass. Because of all of the bad weather we've had, we've lost all of our grass, most of our grass. We had a really rough summer where we had very little in the way of water. And then we've had nothing but water. And you can see it's left our grass absolutely decimated. And one of the things that I'm thinking about doing this year is putting some native cover on the lawn instead of grass, because grass is expensive, difficult to maintain. This particular grass is not native, although we do try and use grass varieties that are designed for the Pacific Northwest. But I think it would be better to have grass that is specifically designed for use, not as a lawn, but as a cover crop, so we can encourage better plants and things to grow. So if you know of any, please let me know. There's a very angry dog in the house. My partner is off doing an errand, and so I've left Ghost in the house, and he's angry about it, and he is barking. So I do apologise. Anyway, if you have any ideas on the grass, let us know in the comments below. And apologies for the thumbnail on this one. Erin was due to do a Sunday musing, and she hit a bit of a wall with computer problems on Thursday and hasn't worked today. So I am filling the blanks in with a last minute Sunday musing and chicken and garden update. So I'm going to do the thumb for this one. Sorry. If you liked today's video, you know what to do, and feel free to tip us with a super thanks. The comments are open for your thoughts, as is our Discord chat room. Link below. If you want more, do subscribe, hit the bell, and follow us regularly to support us with a YouTube membership or a Patreon subscription, or rather, follow the links below to regularly support us. It's cold. My brain is not working properly. You'll also find links below to Ko-fi, Bitcoin, and our Swag store, and check us out on Mastodon. We do have our own server, as long as it's not been hacked again like it was earlier this week. Scrolling on my right is our list of amazing charged up supporters, and shout outs go out to our self-driving tier supporters. They are Mike Weeder, Tony Moss, Linda Irish, Sean Tucker, Brian Newton, Patrick Boyarski, Chris Maxwell, Paul Nelson, Michael Goad, Bennett Elder, Andrew Martin, Pedro Moore Pinheiro, Brophy Wolf, Chris and Michael Johnson, Tesla and the Gong, Dan Blair, Peter Dillinger, Gordon C, Stephen O'Donoghue, Carl Hodgson, Anthony Coates, Regine Fellows, Danny Hyde, Chris Centaur and Jim Burness. Finally, out of this world thanks to our top tier supporters, Robert Flannery, CPU Freak 101, Andrew Glenn, Anonymous Freak, JP Fagerback, Joe Bresney, John Lyons, Rory Litwin, Kevin Burridge, Dave Kitchen, Aaron Hahn, Laura Reynolds, Marcel Ward, Matthew Drobneck, Paul Conway, Reggie Watts, Will Graylin and Ian. I'll be back soon with more awesome content, as will the rest of the team, but until then, thanks for watching, and as always...